Hey folks, my name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Today's video is going to be about the Schrade M9 Extreme Survival Bayonet. And this is a big blade. So let's take a look at the details. Okay, in a little closer detail, this is the Schrade Extreme Survival M9 Bayonet. The actual model number is a SCH F6B. That's SCHF6B. This bayonet is made of powder coated 420 J2 stainless steel. It's black powder coated. It features a partially serrated clip point bayonet blade. It's got a black TPR deep grooved handle, which I believe that stands for thermoplastic resin. It has a multi-carry option scabbard sheath with a built-in sharpener and a drain hole at the bottom. The blade length on this thing is 8 inches, and the overall length is 13 inches. And it weighs a little more than 3/4 of a pound, about 13 ounces. This bayonet fits Mil-Spec AR-15/M4 rifles. Street price on this bayonet is somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 bucks. Okay, so that's some of the details. Let's take a look at this sheath a little closer on the sheath. So there's the sheath, and I've just got, again, it's got a retention here with a snap across the hilt, or whatever you call that, the guard, and another one on the handle with a snap. So both of those snap, and it's just really solid. If you remove the bayonet inside the sheath, there's a little metal clip there that kind of holds, so it really provides pretty good retention without it. I mean, it'll fall out, but pretty good without it. So let's take that out of the way. And the sheath itself has numerous carry options. It's got a loop here, snaps on back, so you can adjust this and hook it onto a pack or whatever. Another little inside here, another little loop you can run this through and just use it for like MOLLE attachments. Same thing down here, it's got another one down here. Elastic on the bottom, you pull that off, and there's a sharpening stone hiding behind there. This is a plastic, thermoplastic kind of sheath. So all in all, pretty good package. And very solid retention. Just nothing cheesy about this, all very first rate. Okay, I want to do some chopping and cutting, and this is billed as a survival bayonet. We'll see how well it works, but it is a bayonet, so if you're interested in that, just to show you that it does fit on a rifle, I brought my AR-15 out and we'll take a look at that. Okay, so one of the things that is probably a little different about a civilian model, which mine is a civilian model, obviously AR-15, is that the barrel is probably longer because the laws require certain barrel length. I think it's 16 inches here. So a typical military is going to have a little shorter barrel. If you got this profile barrel, the way this thing works is it's got a little bayonet clip on the back. Your lug goes over the barrel, and then this engages in the clip and it just locks down. So you can see that it does actually fit on here. Obviously the barrel comes out to here because this is a civilian model, and on a military model I think the barrel is going to be about right here. But it does work, it does fit. It's not, I think Wingman 115 reviewed this product and did some jabbing with it. I'm not really going to do any jabbing with it. I'll put a link to his video below because it's a really good one. But I just did want to show you that it fits, and you can try that if you like it. Oh yeah, and to remove it, you just squeeze the little ears on the bottom, squeeze them in, and lift it off the lug, and then just slide it off the barrel like so. Okay, so it's a knife, survival, built as a survival knife. Let's see how well it does survival knife stuff. Saw that it will fit on a rifle, and I'm sure it will stab people pretty good, but let's just see how well it does if you're stuck and this is what you need. This is your tool to affect your survival. So I got this log here, pretty solid. Some kind of growth on the end of it. We're going to hack that off. It's some kind of little fungus. Now this again is an 8-inch blade, so we got the serrations. The serrations should be pretty good for cutting rope and cloth and stuff. So I've got some paracord here, and Actually, probably for paracord, we're going to use a smooth edge. You can see these serrations are actually pretty wide, and what happens in smaller stuff gets caught in these little grooves here, and it really gets kind of hung. So that's what happened. The paracord kind of got hung in that little groove. So if you put it on the smooth part though, pretty tough. I thought it was pretty sharp too. Let's see. Let's try a different piece, different place. Maybe I call it the tough part of the paracord. No, it's pretty tough. Okay, so it works, but it's probably not designed for cutting paracord. Let's try a piece of blue jean. It's pretty big. So those notches are really kind of, okay, they're kind of large for cutting small stuff. They probably work better for cutting like canvas or a larger rope, or maybe even wood. We'll try that in a minute, but let's see how well it batons first and we'll go from there. Now, obviously we're on a nice flat base here because I'm in my backyard and I got a nice piece of wood. It's not gonna be the real world, but it's what we got right here. So you can see this is probably about a 5-inch piece of wood. We'll see how well this thing batons. It's pretty, because everybody's got a baton wood now. Okay, so there we go. Split it pretty good. It's not super hard wood. I'll go ahead and split it again just for the fun of it. Moving around on me. All right, whatever. Let's try this one. See if it's harder. It's smaller, but it might be harder. I think it might, let's see. Yeah, it's harder. I just don't want to give you a not good, an unfair demonstration of some really soft, easy wood. Okay, so gotta be honest, I don't know if this is full tang or not. I don't almost see how it could be. It's probably some kind of rat tail. I think most bayonets are. And you can see the finish is starting to wear a little bit, which is pretty normal if you're batoning. It's a very smooth type finish though. It's a powder coat, so it should work pretty good. Let's just see how well this thing carves, if at all. So if you can get the right leverage on it, it'll I think it'll work for you. But okay, so we got some pretty good shavings there. Honestly, if you look, you've got about a 3.5 to 4 inch gap before you can really get to the smooth carving edge. So that puts a lot of stress on your wrist and your hand to hold that knife. Leverage. So it's not the length of the serrations kind of take away from the carving ability of this knife, but it's doable. About chopping, probably not there. So it works. I don't know that I would try to chop through an entire tree with it. Let's see. I would probably try to baton my way through. Honestly, when I'm chopping on it, you can tell it's not a full tang. It just feels a little not solid. But again, this is a bayonet, it's not a knife. There's a difference. And if you're somebody that needs to carry a bayonet, and that's what you wind up with for a survival situation, you have to make do. Okay, well, if you know me, I like fire. One of the things I'm going to want to know is, will this knife strike a ferro rod? It's got a pretty, if you can see that, a pretty good spine on it. I think it will, but we're going to find out right now. So let's see. Oh yeah, no worries, absolutely. First time. I even might be able to use the very little straight part in the front of the serrations, so works fine for that. All right, well, that is a Schrade SCHF 6B Extreme Survival Bayonet and scabbard. And just do a quick recap. It's again, this is a bayonet, not a knife, so there's a difference. Primary function of this, honestly, is for putting on the end of a rifle, stabbing the enemy. I mean, bottom line, that's what a bayonet's for. Probably not, in my personal life, don't have much use for that, but you may. If you're in the military and you have the ability to have a different bayonet, I'm not sure how that works. You probably don't, but it is, obviously, there's a market for this, so I don't think Schrade would have made it. From a bayonet standpoint, it probably adds some functionality. Pros and cons, it's okay as a, it worked very well for batoning. It's got an 8-inch blade, got enough meat on it. You can bang it through a 6-inch log pretty simply. And that worked fine. There was no issues whatsoever. It actually did a really good job. For actual carving wood and slicing, it's a little bit of a drawback having this length of, from here to here, this length of serrations, because they're pretty long. So again, by the time from your leverage point of your hand to your actual begin of your cutting portion of the smooth part of the blade is about 3 to 4 inches. So that puts a lot of, decreases your leverage that you're going to have for fine carving, which decreases your control. But it's doable. If you're in a situation where you normally would have a bayonet on you and you get stuck in a survival situation, and this adds a lot of functionality to just a plain blade, I think. The serrations are kind of wide, so for a cutting small stuff, they're probably not going to be as good as the smooth part of the blade, which didn't do really well on my, weathered paracord, but it cuts it. It's got a very good point on it, so for anything that needs a point, you're going to be in good shape. As far as chopping, it'll get the job done, but I would probably try to baton through anything if I needed to chop it, just because I don't think it's a full tang, and it just doesn't, although it's got a good solid feel to it, when you start chopping with it, it just feels a little sloppy, and maybe that's part of is this thing rattling around here, the little clip, the clamp for the attachment to a bayonet lug on a rifle. But did okay for that. For striking a ferro rod, it did better than the striker that came with it. It's really got a sharp spine on it for that, so you could scrape and strike with it really good. Its balance point is about right on, almost right on the, kind of in between. It's about right there. It's hard to get hard, a little blade heavy, but if I put it here, it's off. So somewhere right here is the balance point. Point being that it throws pretty well. It's and it's got enough mass behind it to stick, and it's got enough length to stick deep. So if that's something you like to do, I'm sure that probably voids a warranty. Schrade would never ever recommend that you throw one of their knives. I would never recommend that either. I can't imagine doing that. But if something you like to do, this probably works pretty good at that too. Again, this thing's somewhere in the neighborhood of $60 street price. And if it's something you're interested in, I urge you to check it out. I think if you're looking for a bayonet, this is a pretty good one. Oh, almost forgot. I'd also like to urge you, Schrade is giving away stuff all the time. I just recently won a t-shirt from them, just entered a Facebook contest. They gave away like 1,000 t-shirts. I won one. Check their Facebook page out. They're always giving away stuff, whether on their own or in cooperation and partnership with somebody else, another store or channel or vendor. Enter the contest. I got started with Schrade as far as their reviewer by winning something on a contest, and that's how our relationship got started. They give away a lot of stuff. If you're interested in winning some cool free gear, I urge you to check out Schrade's Facebook page. My little plug is free, by the way. They're not paying me to say this. I'm just telling you, I've won twice now on a Facebook contest from Schrade. That's pretty cool, and you can do the same thing, possibly. No guarantees, of course. Well, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to Survival on Purpose. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up below. Let Google know you like it. If you'd like to support this channel, I'd like to invite you to check out my Amazon store. There's a link below. I really appreciate all your support. Once again, my name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time.